Today, we are starting a new topic, the Prince of Tennis. Once a sports series, now a sci-fi. Let's dive straight into the story of Echizen Ryoma. On a train, three exaggerated high school students are discussing tennis, clumsily showing off their poor skills. That's when our protagonist, Ryoma, makes his entrance. Unable to stand their pretentious behavior, he directly points out their incorrect racket grip, then quickly exits before they can react, rushing to the tennis park. At the station, he meets Sakuno, who is also heading to the park to watch a match. Mistakenly, Ryoma asks Sakuno for directions. Known for her poor sense of direction, Sakuno inevitably sends him the wrong way, causing him to be late and disqualified from the match. Sakuno feels guilty, but Ryoma, calm and collected, doesn't mind. Their moment together is interrupted when the three high school students from the train appear, intent on confronting Ryoma. However, his sharp gaze intimidates them, and they decide to settle the score with a tennis match instead. The leader, Sasaki, a seeded player in the under-16 category, underestimates Ryoma and serves underhandedly to humiliate him but is instantly defeated by Ryoma. Ryuzaki, Sakuno's grandmother and a coach, arrives and recognizes Ryoma. Seeing the situation, she anticipates a merciless defeat for Sasaki, who no longer holds back and unleashes his special bullet serve. Ryoma easily counters it, then surprises Sasaki with a net rush. Ryuzaki then reveals to Sakuno that Ryoma is the legendary The Prince of Tennis, unbeaten in U.S. junior competitions and recently returned to Japan. Despite being only 12, he was ready to compete in the under-16 category. Ryoma effortlessly breaks Sasaki's serve and starts his own service game, where Sasaki doesn't even touch the ball, falling behind 15. Sasaki uses his height to his advantage and scores by volleying at the net, tying the score. He repeatedly uses this tactic to gain a temporary lead at 40-30. However, Ryoma counters with a high lob, which Sasaki, rushing forward, fails to react to, evening the score again. Ryoma uses another lob, which lands in, but Sasaki, exploiting the absence of a referee, falsely claims it's out. Confident he can continue to cheat, Sasaki is unprepared when Ryoma's next lob spins on the ground and stops, defying physics. Unable to dispute it, Sasaki is overwhelmed. In frustration, he throws his racket, hitting Ryoma and causing an injury. Despite this, Ryoma insists on settling the match on the court. Ryoma's subsequent serves, with reverse spin, specifically target Sasaki's face, leaving him unable to return any shots and getting shut out. Still defiant, Sasaki claims he let Ryoma win and vows to beat him in a rematch. But Ryoma remains undeterred and focused on the game. He switched the racket to his left hand. It turns out Ryoma is actually left-handed. He had been playing with his dominant hand against Sasaki, completely breaking Sasaki's mental defenses, causing him to flee. After watching the match, Coach Ryuzaki recognized Ryoma's potential to create a stir in Japanese youth tennis. A new term began, and Ryoma joined the youth academy. There, he met Satoshi, another freshman who also loves tennis. They decided to join the academy's tennis club together. Upon their arrival, they found that seniors were using the newcomers to make money. Two seniors invited them to play a game. Hit a can on the baseline with a tennis ball for a reward of 10,000 yen, with a 200 yen entry fee for 10 shots, needing just one hit to win. While other newcomers eagerly joined, Ryoma was skeptical and watched from the side. Sakuno also entered the youth academy. On her way to the baseball club, she met Aji, an editor from a tennis magazine, who wanted to visit the strong players at the academy with her. Back at the scam scene, no newcomers hit the can. Satoshi, confident from 2 years of baseball experience, almost hit it, worrying the seniors who had rigged the can to not fall easily. They then raised the price to 500 yen per ball, turning the scam into a blatant robbery. The seniors could have made a good amount, but got greedy, trying to get Ryoma to play. Ryoma saw through the trick and hit the can's lid directly, causing it to fall and reveal stones inside. After hitting it 10 times in a row, the atmosphere turned awkward. Suddenly, a tennis ball from afar knocked the can over. It was hit by Momoshiro, a second year from the youth academy. The scammers fled. Momoshiro had heard of a talented freshman and wanted to challenge Ryoma, who was ready for the match. Ryoma served first, starting with his signature reverse spin serve. Momoshiro tried to return it but failed, dropping his racket at 15-0. In the second serve, Momoshiro changed his approach and went to the net, but missed the timing, failing to cross the net. As everyone thought Ryoma would win easily, Momoshiro returned Ryoma's third serve, surprising him and making the score 30-15. The match continued, and Momoshiro returned another of Ryoma's reverse spin serves. Ryoma quickly went to the net and switched to a drop shot, causing Momoshiro to slip and fall, scoring 40-15 for Ryoma. At match point, Ryoma switched his racket to his left hand. Realizing something was amiss, Momoshiro quit, claiming he was sparing Ryoma's life. He wasn't at full strength due to an injury, and knew better than to continue after discovering Ryoma was holding back. After the match, Sakuno and Jun, who had been watching, became Ryoma's fans, though Ryoma had no recollection of Sakuno, who had once given him wrong directions. Ryoma's presence attracted the attention of many senior students, eager to challenge him. Ryoma cleverly let Satoshi take his place, fooling the seniors who had never seen him play. He deliberately wore different clothes and wondered why there was such a height difference between him and the second-year students who seemed as tall as Yao Ming. After losing face in front of Ryoma, Arai sought revenge, warning Ryoma not to be too arrogant. Just as a conflict was about to erupt between them, the main players of the Youth Academy, who had been away for a match, arrived at the court. Their skills were clearly superior, impressing the freshmen. The presence of these strong players made everyone question how Sasaki had ever become a seeded player. Suddenly, Oishi made a mistake, and the ball landed right where Ryoma was standing. Seizing the moment, Ryoma leapt high and smashed the ball cleanly into the hoop, showing off his skills effortlessly. Arai, who couldn't stand others showing off, grabbed Ryoma's collar, ready to punch him. At that critical moment, Captain Tezuka intervened, ordering both to run laps as punishment. Ryoma, the victim, felt wronged by this. Feeling that Ryoma was to blame for his punishment, Arai plotted revenge. He had his friends steal Ryoma's racket while he was running laps and forced him to use an old, decrepit racket for a one-on-one challenge. Ryoma knew his racket was hidden by them, but was determined not to admit defeat. Seeing Ryoma's confidence, even the main players came to watch the game. Arai served first, but Ryoma couldn't control the ball with the poor racket, missing the net and then hitting the ball out. The spectators thought the match was over given the condition of the racket. However, Ryoma surprised everyone by using body rotation to hit a spin shot that Arai couldn't return. The strength of the shot made it seem as if the racket wasn't broken. Arai claimed it was just luck, but Ryoma quickly proved him wrong by hitting another perfect shot past Arai, who now faced becoming the joke himself. In his panic, a ball fell from his pocket, giving Ryoma another chance to show off. He hit the ball right under Arai's feet with precision, even with the poor racket. Arai was mentally defeated and fell to his knees. Ryoma didn't stop there. Even with a broken string, he continued to dominate Arai. Tezuka, watching from afar, although he said he would punish Ryoma for causing trouble, secretly added him to the list for the ranking matches to decide the main team members of the Youth Academy. Ryoma was the only freshman included, now a celebrity among the freshmen, face off against second-year seniors in the Youth Academy's monthly ranking matches, divided into 4 groups. The top 2 from each group become official team members. Ryoma effortlessly won his first 2 matches, and the other official players also won easily. His next opponent is the second-year senior known as the Viper, Kaoru. During the break, Momo recorded Kaoru's match for Ryoma, who didn't watch but went to practice alone instead. The 3 juniors, having never seen such a strange playing style, were shocked. Satoshi doubted Ryoma again, believing that while Ryoma could easily defeat other second-year players, Kaoru might be a real challenge. The time came to the afternoon. Kaoru and Ryoma's match was about to start. Everyone stopped what they were doing and began to watch the game. Ryoma served first, and Kaoru, no ordinary opponent, easily returned his serve on the first try. A long rally started between them. Due to Kaoru failing to clear the net, Ryoma scored the first point. Kaoru's expression grew tense. In the second round, facing Ryoma's high lob, Kaoru moved back to the baseline and then hit a curving slice shot. This was Kaoru's special move, the snake shot, a technique only possible due to his long arms, earning him the nickname Viper. Ryoma faced his first strong opponent, but he remained calm as he hadn't yet used his full strength. Now he decided to use his golden left hand. The rally continued, and Kaoru took the opportunity to hit another snake shot. Ryoma caught it, but it exposed a weakness. Kaoru quickly prepared to smash, thinking Ryoma wouldn't recover in time, but Ryoma returned it back, unfortunately out of bounds. The match was even, with the score at 1-1. Ryoma gradually caught up to Kaoru's snake shots, but this seemed to be within Kaoru's expectations. Momoshiro started commentating, saying Kaoru's snake shot was a trap to wear down Ryoma's stamina. "Isn't it obvious," he said, "that hitting the ball back uses energy? Would you not return the ball just to save energy?" As the game progressed, Kaoru grew increasingly strange in his play. Why was Ryoma not only not tired but seemed more vigorous? Meanwhile, Kaoru was struggling to keep up. Ryoma demonstrated what he called Newton's third law in action. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Ryoma won the game, surprising everyone. It was the first time Kaoru had lost physically to an opponent. Ryoma consistently targeted Kaoru's feet, forcing him to maintain a crouching position, which tripled the energy used, though there's no scientific proof for that claim. Kaoru realized his trap had backfired, but his pride as a senior made him refuse to give up. Using sheer willpower, he kept the score even at 3-3. Just as everyone thought the match was balanced, Ryoma suddenly hit a snake shot similar to Kaoru's, stunning the crowd. Why could he perform this move? Ryoma had merely read about curveball techniques in a magazine and improvised during the match, mastering the snake shot Kaoru had honed for years. Soon, the balance of victory shifted towards Ryoma, bringing the score to 5-3 with a match point. Kaoru wasn't ready to give up and attempted one last snake shot. However, it was merely a last stand, easily countered by Ryoma. What a bore. Defeated by Ryoma again. Meanwhile, in Group D, there was another strong opponent, the third-year senior Aiken, a data enthusiast who knew everyone's techniques by heart, noted in his little notebook. The reporter, seeing a reflection of his idol in Ryoma, knew he was the son of the legendary player Nanjiro, and decided to visit their home. His companion, a lady named Aji, had never heard this name and was quite nervous, thinking Nanjiro was a formidable character. Nanjiro now lived in a temple, spending his days ringing bells and reading adult magazines. He disliked interviews, but out of boredom, agreed to play a game with the reporter. The reporter was thrilled at the chance to play with his idol. Meanwhile, Ryoma was practicing alone when Sakuno came to offer her help, but women only slowed his swing. Ryoma had no interest in women. The reporter dressed in professional gear to play seriously with Nanjiro, thinking it would be easy to win by hitting the ball behind him. Just hit the ball out of bounds, no need to aim behind. Why not just hit it out of the yard? That wouldn't be hard either. However, the journalist, unable to think flexibly, insisted on challenging Nanjiro directly. If you had that skill, you'd be a professional player, not a journalist. He couldn't score a point, and Nanjiro hardly moved. Finding the match too boring, Nanjiro added a challenge by closing one eye, then both, when he saw the journalist still couldn't beat him. This was a real humiliation. Just by opening his eyes, it's over for the opponent. Nanjiro smashed the journalist's racket with a single shot. So much for that interview.